Hi everyone and welcome. I'm down here in my wormery and you can probably guess what I'm up to today. I have here in front of me a sticker, and some of you might know what it means when I've got a new sticker for a bin. It means we're launching a new bin today. And the worms that I'm going to be placing into this bin here, which is a bin that I set up 9 days ago, so it's been sitting here priming for the past 9 days, are right here in this box. So let's not waste any time. Let's get this thing opened up and let's get these worms released into their new home. So now some of you might have noticed what I'd written on here already. As far as I understand it, this was supposed to be a red wiggler for red wiggler exchange. But the last time I spoke to the guy who sent me these, he did suggest to me that some European night crawlers had gotten mixed into there. And earlier on, he had also mentioned to me that he had purchased his red wigglers from Uncle Jim's worm farm, which I think most people already know, but when you buy red wigglers from Uncle Jim's worm farm, it usually comes with a little bit of fine print, a disclaimer saying that chances are you're also getting kind of a mix of not just red wiggler worms, but also blue worms in there. So I'm assuming that what this is here is a mix of about 3 different types of worms. And I'm curious to see how they look. So let's get this thing opened up and let's introduce these little guys to their new home. What do we have here? A lot of cotton. Nice cushiony ride for these little guys. I don't want to dump all this stuff onto the table here. Well, it doesn't matter, right? Let's get this thing unloaded. This is what we're after right here, right? Very cool. How do you like that? He's labeled it as red wigglers and European night crawlers. Got the date on there from a few days ago when they were, I guess, packaged up. And you can see he's got a business name here, I guess. He's referring to himself as Buffalo Wormworks. I was under the impression that he was mainly into selling the castings of worms. I didn't think he was so much into the retail sale of worms themselves, but maybe he's getting into it. So let's clean up a little bit here and get these little guys released. Okay, another little sort of business card-ish thing here. I don't know if he's got something in here for me as well. No, nothing. I'm just going to take one quick look in here to make sure I'm not forgetting something important. But it does look like the majority of what's in here is simply packaging material. So we can put that all right back into the box, I believe. I don't think that this is cotton. It has a sort of different kind of appearance to it. It's almost like the equivalent of foam in a way. It's almost like a styrofoam. I don't know. Styrofoam cotton balls or something. Not sure what the heck they are. Okay. Let's get the bin a little bit closer here. And let's zoom in a bit better with the camera too. So I think before removing the plastic coverings from the bin, I'm going to use it as my working surface here briefly, just so we can get inside the bag. And then we could take off the coverings right when we're ready to release these little guys into their new space. Definitely a nice little bag, nice breathable bag that these little guys were delivered in. And inside the breathable bag, I'm finding yet another red breathable bag. Ah, look at that. I get it. We're finding a recycled Uncle Jim's Worm Farm bag. That makes good sense. I've never purchased anything from Uncle Jim's worm farm, so... Oops, what do we got here? Just a little bit more, I guess, packing materials. I guess the idea with this plastic was to kind of prevent moisture from making its way through the container, maybe. So pretty nicely packaged, I must say. Nicely protected. Luckily the weather didn't get too extreme and cold during the shipping process. I'm sure these little guys simply sat in a truck for the time that they were making their way over here. So within the bag I can see kind of a jumble of stuff, but I think the only way for us to really see what's happening in here is for us to simply dump it out. So why don't we proceed to the release of these worms. We'll put all this stuff right back on after we're done. The bin, it came right off right here with the plastic. There is a piece of newspaper here that was resting on top of the bedding. And you can see it's completely drenched because the plastic has been allowing for the recirculation of moisture within this bin. Nice and damp environment. The worms should be pretty cozy in here. The bin's made up of all kinds of stuff. It's a pretty good sized container. It's full of cardboard, paper, leaves, you name it. And I put a good amount of food in here too. And I scattered that food all around the bin. And the last thing that I placed in here, food and grit. So food and grit together. But the last thing that I placed in here was a bunch of finished worm castings. With those worm castings came all kinds of microscopic life to kind of give this bin a little bit of a jump start. I refer to it as inoculation, sort of introducing all the microbial and microscopic fungi and microbes and everything to really start working down the bedding material and the food material to make it into as cozy a spot for the worms as possible. So let's not hold back. Let's make it happen. Hopefully I can get all these little guys out in a felt swoop. Maybe I'll turn the bag inside out so we can make sure we haven't left anybody behind. Got some pretty nice castings type material that the worms are occupying. Right away you can see that they're wriggling around and moving around. So why don't I spread them out a little bit, and we'll give them a minute or two to settle into their new home. Oh, you know what? Maybe we can uncover some of them a little bit better and get a better look. Yeah, there we go. There was a little jumble of them. They're pretty lively. Alrighty. Alright, we messed with them enough. Let's give them a chance to settle in, and then we'll cover up. Well, as I look around, I can still see a couple worms right here. I can see the end of one or two of them still sticking out of the material. But for the most part, I think they've made themselves at home, trying to get out of the bright light down into the material. Because, you know, worms definitely don't like the bright light, that's for sure. And I think it was kind of interesting to see how some of these worms really hustled when they saw the lights, because I guess there was some dialogue going on right after I had posted a video showing me extracting the worms that I had sent in exchange for these. And I was talking about the swap deal and how, you know, I was going to be sending worms and getting worms in exchange. And some people had already started telling me about these blue worms and how they're really lively and how they cruise so fast. So I think that's what we probably saw there was those worms that really split really quick in the beginning were probably the blue worms. And then probably the red wigglers after that, and the night crawlers as well. I think the European night crawlers and the red wigglers are actually pretty closely related as far as worm species are concerned. So please join me in welcoming the newest addition to the worm farm. And to make it all official, let's not forget, we've got to affix the traditional label onto the bin showing the launch date, and then we can get these guys up onto the shelf along with the rest of their neighbors. All right, everyone, that was fun. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, please remember to give me a quick thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and hopefully we'll see you back here for the next time we check in on how these worms are coming along. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.